Hey, how's it going, guys? Ricky Summer here, and today I've come back in time to talk about the new X4 DLC, Tides of Avarice. But first, a message from our sponsor.
Join the Empyrean League, explore your deepest desires, and seek salvation amongst the stars.
Alright, listen, for those of you who don't know, X4 is getting new DLC, because of course it is. Egosoft doesn't stop. I for whatever reason, wasn't expecting new DLC for quite a while. The last one was, was pretty meaty. We got the Terrans back in X4, and now we've got a pirate-themed DLC. It's called Tides of Avarice. Presumably, it's centered around the Avarice system, which, I remember the name, but I couldn't really remember where that was, so I went back to the X3 Albion Prelude map. It was the unknown sector between Montelar and New Income, which, as so happens, is a sector that I would build in quite a lot. I would often claim that as my main sector. That's where I would build my player HQ. I always sought out unclaimed sectors because I wanted to feel like I owned them. They were mine. So that's great. That's going to be really cool to go back to a sector that I had previously used quite a bit. So we're getting two new pirate factions, I believe. One of them is centered heavily around salvaging ships, which we come to the video title. We come to what I'm most excited about, ship salvaging. Listen, I'm excited for this for two reasons. The more autonomy and control we have over going from resources to completed ship, just look, it gets me very excited. Often I want to be independent from the main factions of the X universe, and if this is just another means for us to do that, look, I'm all for it. I got a dream, man. I've always wanted to be the captain of a spaceship going around salvaging wrecks. You know, like the authorities are bearing down on us. We're under the pump. It's a time crunch, racing against the clock, getting that wreck, getting out, getting our money. Money, I don't know what it is. Salvaging, just mining and salvaging always gets me excited. Secondly, we're getting two new ship classes along with salvaging. We're getting tugboats and we're getting destruction ships. Now, I'm hoping this is going to allow us to live a more nomadic lifestyle in X4, which is something I've always really craved. Not having to build stations to get by, which, you can do right now. You can build mining ships, you can build a trading ships, get a trade network going, and you can survive like that. But it kind of feels a little bit too decentralized. I want the feeling of having a mobile base. HQ, and that is my flagship, and that's where everything sprouts off from. Like, if I were to shoehorn that into trading, for example, I would want the ability to essentially use my capital ship as like an equipment dock and trade to the other factions. But we can't do that. With salvaging, will we maybe be able to do that? Hear me out. So we're getting tugboats, which will drag wrecks to specific stations. I'm assuming that at some point we will be able to build our own, like, recycling stations, but let's for the moment assume that we can't, and it's just bound to the new pirate faction, which, as of right now, that's all the information we have. So we've got tugs that will drag the wreck back to the recycling station, turn it into building materials that then presumably we can sell or use, I imagine. Then we've got the deconstruction ship, which I'm assuming is going to be based on the large trading ship model. I'm really hoping and expecting that we'll get one of these per faction. That's my fondest hope. That's what I really want. And that will actually be able to salvage the ship on site. Now, hopefully that means that we won't actually need to take anything back to a recycling station. We can just do it all right there and then sell the materials. Can you imagine, man? This is what I'm talking about. This could be my dream of living nomadically in X4. The deconstruction ship is your home base, right? Now, I don't know if we'll have this functionality, but imagine if we could launch tugboats off of the deconstruction ship and drag the wreck to the bigger ship, then break it down. We got the base materials. We can use that for station construction, for shipbuilding, just selling and making our money that way. I'm getting far too excited at this concept. I don't want to be disappointed. I don't want to hype myself up too much, but salvaging is It's a good addition. I'm glad they're going that route, and I'm very excited. All right, so I don't actually know how salvaging is going to play out just yet, but what I'm dearly hoping for is whenever a ship is destroyed, it will produce a wreck that we can slide in and take advantage of. If that's how it works, I'm going to be a very happy boy. What I don't want is like a gamified fudged system where maybe it randomly spawns in wrecks just higgledy-piggledy, maybe sparsely around the universe. I don't really want it to be like another version of mining, I guess. You know, mining, you're looking for static asteroids. You know where they are. You go there, you mine them. With salvaging, I think the excitement is just being a little more active with it. Like, you know, a war is about to go down. So, you know, like an ambulance chaser, you go head on over to that contested system and you absolutely clean up with all those wrecks. If it works like that, like very realistically, buddy, can you imagine? Like, then there's a reason to jump into Xenon sectors and like camp near the gate and wait for the destruction to rain down and then swoop in. Dangerous action combat salvaging. So it's worth noting that this is actually the first DLC that will not be included with the collector's edition. So this is the first one that anyone who has the collector's edition will actually have to pay extra for, which, you know, is fair enough. They've put quite a bit into that collector's edition so far, so, you know, I'm not too mad about that. And the X4 DLCs are usually pretty reasonably priced for what they are. They could easily charge like $40 for these, but they don't. Split Vendetta, Cradle of Humanity, they're $21.59 Australian, and they're currently on sale if you want to go grab them if you haven't already. Honestly, for the amount of content that's in them, that is a steal. They're very reasonably priced. Listen, you know me, I'm gonna gush over Egosoft any chance I get. They're just a bunch of individuals making something that they love, and I respect that. You can tell the X series is a passion project, and I'm here for it. So of course, in classic Egosoft style, we're also getting a big free update along with the DLC. This is what they usually do for those who are unfamiliar with Egosoft. They'll drop a DLC, but they'll also drop a big free update. So with a free update, we're getting some capital ship redesigns, which is a really interesting angle. So ships that we already have, but they're redesigning them, and as far as I understand, they will be slowly phased into the game as your save progresses, and you will be able to buy both. You'll be able to get the old ships and the new redesigned ships, including redesigned interiors for them. So that's really, really interesting. I love that idea because there are ships that I like, that are useful, you know, that I want to use, but maybe I don't necessarily like how they look, or maybe after using it for 100 hours, you know, I get sick of it and might want to still use that ship, but have a different look. So that's exciting, you know, more variety. Variety is the spice of life. I'm into that. We're also getting AMD Fidelity Effects, super resolution, you know, FSR stuff with the new updates. So for those who are interested in that, that is very, very cool. But look, in summary, I'm freaking pogged out of my gourd for the new salvage mechanic. Yeah, we're getting a new system. Yeah, we're getting a new story, and we're getting like a new mechanic centered around this system because like the sun is unstable or something. So it destroys stations and ships at certain intervals, which is really, really interesting. And I'm interested to see how that plays out and what we will have to do, presumably throughout the story, to contend with that and protect our stations from the sun. That's all great. Salvage. Alright guys, now it's your turn. Let me know in the comments below the like button. You pogged out of your gourd for the new Tides of Avarice DLC, and if so, what are you most excited for? For the moment, thank you very much for watching. Be excellent to each other, and I'll see you next time. Ricky Summer, out.